Hello everyone, I am Dr. Gayatri, Assistant Professor at Smriti College of Pharmaceutical Education, Indore, from the Department of Pharmacology. In our today's class, we will look at what is hyperlipidemia and regarding the treatment of hyperlipidemia. So coming to the classification of these hypolipidemic drugs, they include HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors. We have seen the role of this enzyme in cholesterol synthesis. So these are mainly statins such as atorvastatin, lovastatin, simvastatin, rosuvastatin, etc. And then bile acid sequestrants. These are nothing but resins. They include cholestyramine and cholestyramine, and lipoprotein lipase activators. These are nothing but fibrates, and those include clofibrate, gemfibrozil, bezafibrate, etc. And lipolysis and triglyceride synthesis inhibitors. So this includes nicotinic acid. We know that nicotinic acid is nothing but vitamin B3. It is also called as niacin. And then sterol absorption inhibitor. This include ezetimibe. So coming to the overview of how these drugs function and what is the effect of their use. HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors reduce cholesterol synthesis by inhibition of HMG-CoA reductase. We know that HMG-CoA reductase is responsible for cholesterol synthesis. So when this enzyme is inhibited, cholesterol synthesis is naturally reduced. So this results in reduction of LDL cholesterol by 20 to 55%, HDL cholesterol increased by 5 to 15%, and triglyceride reduction by 10 to 35%. While coming to bile acid sequestrants, these reduce bile acid absorption and then increase the hepatic conversion of cholesterol to bile acids. So they also increase LDL receptors on the hepatocytes, which are responsible for uptake of LDL. So these result in reduction of LDL cholesterol by 15 to 30%, increase of HDL by 3 to 5%, and the triglycerides are not affected. And in some cases, they may increase. And coming to fibric acid derivatives such as fenofibrate, bezafibrate, they increase the activity of lipoprotein lipase, so which reduces the release of fatty acids from adipose tissue. So it increases the activity of lipoprotein lipase, and then it reduces the release of fatty acids from adipose tissue. We understand by the term lipase that it causes lysis of these lipoproteins. So this results in reduction of LDL by 5 to 20%, increase of HDL by 10 to 20%, reduction in triglycerides by 20 to 50%. Coming to nicotinic acid, that is niacin, when given in a dose of 2 to 6 grams. So we see that statins are given in a dose of 10 to 80, lovastatin 10 to 80 mg, and simvastatin 5 to 40 mg, atorvastatin 10 to 80 mg, and rosuvastatin 5 to 20 mg. While coming to bile acid sequestrants, these cholestyramine is 4 to 16 grams and cholestyramine is 5 to 30 grams. And fibric acid derivatives, that is gemfibrozil 1200 mg, bezafibrate 600 mg, and fenofibrate 200 mg. Coming to nicotinic acid, it is given in a dose of 2 to 6 grams. This results in reduction in production of VLDL and reduced lipolysis in the adipocytes. It reduces LDL by 15 to 25%, increases HDL by 20 to 35%, and reduces triglycerides by 20 to 50%. The first drug which includes in this class is HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors. So this class of drugs are also called as statins. They include drugs such as atorvastatin, levastatin, etc. we will look at levostatin. So it is the first statin that was clinically used orally in the treatment of hyperlipidemias as a cholesterol lowering agent. So statins have direct anti-atherosclerotic effect and they are the drug of choice for dyslipidemias in diabetic patients. So coming to mechanism of action, from the name itself we understand that they inhibit the enzyme HMG-CoA reductase. We have seen how this enzyme is involved in the formation of cholesterol synthesis. So it helps in the conversion of HMG-CoA into mevalonate. So this particular class of drugs inhibit the enzyme HMG-CoA reductase and prevent the formation of cholesterol. So this results in inhibition of cholesterol synthesis in liver, and indications include hyperlipidemia, hypercholesteremia and hypertriglyceridemia. Coming to dose, it is given in an oral dose of 20 mg per day. It can be increased to 80 mg per day in single or divided dose, but the dose should not exceed 80 mg per day. And the dose adjustment, this increase or whether the dose should be increased or decreased, can be decided based on the response seen in the patient. Coming to contraindications, it is contraindicated in patients with hypersensitivity, pregnant women, lactating women and patients with liver disease. And it has to be used with caution in patients with hypotension, visual disorders and electrolyte imbalance, as well as in children. Coming to the adverse effects of statins include muscle cramps, myalgia, myositis, skin rash, pruritus, headache, blurred vision, liver dysfunction, heartburn, constipation, abdominal pain, etc. Coming to drug interactions, it increases the bleeding when combined with warfarin, and propranolol decreases the anti-hyperlipidemic effect of statins. The next class of drugs that are used in the treatment of dyslipidemias is bile acid sequestrants. These are nothing but resins. So from the name itself we can understand that they form complexes with bile acids and increase their excretion. So these are nothing but ion exchange resins in the form of chloride. So these resins are neither digested nor absorbed in the gut. So they directly bind to bile acids in the intestine and interrupt their enterohepatic circulation. So once they bind to the bile acids, they prevent the enterohepatic circulation of these bile acids, which increases their excretion. So we know that cholesterol is absorbed with the help of bile salts. So when bile acids are reduced, obviously less availability of these bile acids results in increased excretion of cholesterol also. So this indirectly leads to an enhanced hepatic metabolism of cholesterol to bile acids. So what happens? It increases the excretion of bile acids. It increases the excretion of cholesterol because cholesterol is absorbed with the help of bile salts, and it indirectly leads to the metabolism of, that is hepatic metabolism of cholesterol as well. And these resins have been shown to retard atherosclerosis, but they are not popular because they have many unpleasant effects. One is they are unpalatable, they taste very bad, and they are inconvenient, and they have to be taken in large doses, and they cause adverse effects such as flatulence and other GI effects. So because of these reasons, patient acceptability of these drugs is also very less, because of which they are not commonly used. And they also interfere with many drugs. So they show many interactions with many other drugs as well. So because of these reasons, these are not used commonly. The next class of drugs include lipoprotein lipase activators, which are nothing but fibrates. So the mechanism of action of these drugs is fibrates cause activation of PPAR alpha. PPAR is nothing but peroxisome proliferator activated receptor alpha. So once this is activated, it enhances the lipoprotein lipase synthesis, and along with that it also causes fatty acid oxidation. So when enhanced lipoprotein lipase synthesis happens, this results in degradation of VLDL. So when VLDL is reduced, we know that obviously LDL also will be reduced. So this results in lowering of circulating triglycerides. So fibrates activate PPAR alpha, and which results in increased synthesis of lipoprotein lipase, which results in degradation of VLDL and therefore reduction in triglycerides. So they also decrease hepatic triglyceride synthesis as well. And a peripheral effect reducing circulating free fatty acids has also been seen, because it causes fatty acid oxidation. It can also show a peripheral effect of reducing the circulating free fatty acids. The drug under study coming in this class is gemfibrozil. So this is a fibric acid derivative which effectively lowers plasma triglycerides level by enhancing the breakdown and suppressing hepatic synthesis of triglycerides. So triglyceride level, plasma triglyceride level is reduced by these drugs by first of all enhancing its breakdown as well as suppressing the synthesis. So it shows high efficacy in type 3 hyperlipoproteinemia as well as in subjects with raised blood cholesterol levels. Additional actions to decrease the level of, so it also shows an additional action of decrease in the level of clotting factor 7, and this results in promotion of fibrinolysis, which may contribute to its anti-atherosclerotic effect. So it not only reduces triglycerides, it also reduces the clotting factors, which results in anti-clotting action, that is fibrinolysis, which results in anti-atherosclerotic effect. And the mechanism of action is, as we have seen, it inhibits the biosynthesis of VLDL, decreases triglycerides and increases HDL. It is given in a dose of 600 mg twice daily, taken before meals. Contraindications of this drug include pregnancy, liver disease and gallbladder disease. Adverse effects include epigastric distress and loose motions, skin rashes, body aches, eosinophilia, impotence, headache and blurred vision have also been reported. Myopathy is a very uncommon adverse effect. Drug interactions: when gemfibrozil is given along with statin, it increases the risk of myopathy.